Welcome to day 25 of the New Way. I will read Luke 2:41 through 52. Every year, Jesus' parents went to Jerusalem for the festival of the Passover. When he was 12 years old, they went up to the festival according to the custom. After the festival was over, while his parents were returning home, the boy Jesus stayed behind in Jerusalem, but they were unaware of it. Thinking he was in their company, they traveled on for a day. Then they began looking for him among their relatives and friends. When they did not find him, they went back to Jerusalem to look for him. After 3 days, they found him in the temple courts, sitting among the teachers, listening to them and asking them questions. Everyone who heard him was amazed at his understanding and his answers. When his parents saw him, they were astonished. His mother said to him, "Son, why have you treated us like this? Your father and I have been anxiously searching for you." "Why were you searching for me?" he asked. "Didn't you know I had to be in my father's house?" But they did not understand what he was saying to them. Then he went down to Nazareth with them and was obedient to them. But his mother treasured all these things in her heart. And Jesus grew in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and man. My father-in-law, Frank Weatherford, was a pastor. I remember one of the first sermons that I heard him preach. It was from this text. His premise was, if Jesus' own earthly parents could forget him for a whole day, what about you? Are you traveling with him day by day and hour by hour, or do you forget and leave him at church? It's a good question. Sometimes I wonder what Jesus shared with the priests and teachers at the temple. Do you think he told them he was the Messiah? I don't know, but I wonder if he was laying that foundation so they could discover the truth at a later time. Maybe. At this time of Jewish history, there were a limited number of scrolls available. Most synagogues would only have one copy to use. Because of this, oral or verbal history was important. Therefore, it was customary for the older men to quiz the younger men, and the younger men would ask questions of the older men so that they could learn about God and Jewish history. I think it is important to note that even though Jesus had superior knowledge to all present, he conducted himself in such a way that they respected him and were able to learn from him. He must have been very respectful and courteous, as he was the youngest among older men. In fact, at age 12, he wasn't even considered a man. He was considered a child. Note that Luke said that they were amazed at his answers. Then Luke records that Jesus went home and submitted to his earthly parents. Do you think that would be hard to do? I mean, most teenagers think they are smarter than their parents, but Jesus really was. Then look at Luke 2:52. And Jesus grew in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and man. It says that as Jesus grew up, he was liked by all the people around him. That doesn't sound like someone who was arrogant or rude about their superior knowledge, does it? That's really all that we know about Jesus' childhood. The next information we have about Jesus is the beginning of his ministry when he was around age 30. How would you sum up your childhood? What did you accomplish from birth to age 21, or to your current age if you are not yet 21? In his service, Dale.